You're right now not in a very good position.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
For the American people to see what's going on.
At this point, it's hardly even a meme. Donald Trump is arguing with himself. The guy is a complete idiot who randomly decided to bomb Iran based on nothing more than vibes, it seems. And now CNN just dropped a brutal bombshell on Donald Trump, and it should have everyone in America concerned. That's right, hold on to your wallets. What's happening right now, as surprising as it is, isn't actually that shocking. I mean, Kamala Harris literally warned us.
He took unilateral action to withdraw us from the Iran nuclear deal. Some people liked it, some people didn't. Some people thought it should be stronger than it was, but it was very well negotiated, and people were complying with it. And he pulls us out of it based on unilateral action, frankly, from my perspective, born out of his fragile ego. And everything that we have seen happen since was predictable to one extent or another. You know, listen, as far as I'm concerned, this president is motivated by his personal insecurities more than he is our national security.
Even more so, Trump's Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, has been really persistent on the fact that they're not interested in regime change. They're simply interested in preventing Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon.
They're the ones that have lied about their nuclear program.
But
they're the ones that have hidden
all
things from the
like
international organisms.
But that sounds like we're headed towards regime change, or the desire to get these people out of power.
No.
Are you?
No, a serious foreign policy is one that's focused on identifying what our national interest is. You don't have to like the regime. There are a lot of regimes around the world that we don't like, okay? But in this particular case, what we are focused on is not the changing of the regime. Okay, that's up to the Iranian people if they want to do that, but that's not what we're focused on. Our national interest is about one thing, and that is Iran not getting anywhere near the capability to weaponize and have nuclear weapons.
But now, in a predictable twist, Donald Trump posted on Truth Social, it's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? MEGA, make Iran great again. All right, everyone. Well, gear up for Bush Light. Here we go into yet another pathetic Middle Eastern conflict. But the biggest news of all comes from CNN. That's right, CNN dropped a brutal Iran bombshell, and it's left everyone, including Trump, stunned. Take a look. CNN is sounding the alarm, and this time, it's not just about foreign policy, it's about your wallet. Over the weekend, President Donald Trump launched sudden airstrikes on 3 nuclear sites deep inside Iran, triggering immediate global fallout. And now, everyday Americans are bracing for the blowback. According to CNN, this reckless military gamble, carried out with little intel and no clear strategy, could reignite inflation and send gas prices skyrocketing within days. We're looking at $80 oil on the open, said Andy Lipow, a top industry analyst. That may not sound like much until you realize it means gas could shoot up by 75 cents a gallon. Just weeks ago, Americans were finally seeing relief at the pump. Now, thanks to Trump's decision, that relief may be vanishing. The real danger? Iran may close the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow but critical passage that moves 20% of the world's oil. If that happens, prices could surge to $100 a barrel, and the global economy could tip into chaos. It's possible they will decide the only thing that can dissuade President Trump is the fear of an oil price spike, said Bob McNally, a former energy advisor to George W. Bush. Trump's own Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, tried to downplay the threat, bizarrely calling on China to pressure Iran. But economists warn U.S. consumers will feel this first and fast. Gas stations could start raising prices within hours. Trump promised to put America first, but with no plan, no coalition, and no exit strategy, his impulsive strike may have just put the American middle class last. Now you understand why I said hold on to your wallets at the beginning of this video. Because Donald Trump, Mr. Make America Great Again, doesn't seem to care at all about your wallet. Trump doesn't even care about keeping his own promises. The dude ran on lower gas prices and lower groceries on day one. That's not happened. He ran on no wars. That's not happened. Now, because of Donald Trump's reckless behavior, gas prices are set to skyrocket. All in all, Donald Trump is doing anything but making America great again. And at this point, you'd have to be a brain-dead, delusional imbecile, probably in a cult, to believe anything different.